Morning, everyone. My name is Kaneka, student at the University of South Africa. Today, I'm going to present to you my research article on the pre-feasibility study for the Kaneka catchment, adult generation alternatives. It's for the module of power and possible engineer honors module at UNISA. And then I'll show and present the alternative in terms of hydropower generation within the Maguga catchment area. Okay, so the content will be as follows. There's going to be a background, the objectives, the main findings, results, and discussion, and also lastly on conclusion and recommendation. So this is just a slide to show the headings, background, and objectives of the project. So basically, Maguga Dam is a clay core rockfill embankment dam, which was built as a joint project of the government of the Republic of South Africa and the Kingdom of Eswatini. The dam is located on the Kumasi River, about 12 kilometers south of Peak in Eswatini, according to Kodwa 2014. And the primary purpose of the dam was for irrigation and has an overall height of 115 meters. And the objective for this research is to assess the water availability within the catchment, to evaluate the opportunity to increase the hydropower generation through run-of-river scheme. 3, to evaluate the impact of storage on firm discharge, which will further down you will see we got it from the flow duration curve. Also to determine the dam characteristic, elevation versus areas, elevation versus the storage capacity, and area versus storage capacity. And lastly, to discuss the benefit of the Maguga Dam against the runoff dams. And the main findings will start with the water availability. It was depicted that the mean annual runoff was found to be 738.01 mega cubic, and but that was excluding all the loss such as evapotranspiration, infiltration. So for this project, it has been given to us the evaporation. So we're gonna deduct the evaporation from the main annual runoff, which the evaporation was found to be 12.95 cubic mega cubic meter per year, and that was subtract from the 738, which gave us a water availability of 725.06 mega cubic meter. And looking at the water demand within the catchment, we found that the water demand was sitting at 775 mega cubic. And when we subtract and work in terms of percentage, the demand versus the supply, we found out that there's a deviation or shortage of 49.94 mega cubic or 6%. So meaning we're having a shortage to meet all the water demand within the catchment. Sorry, apologies. Apologies. And the full supply level, intake level, and the tailwater level was depicted from the Google Earth Pro. And the value were as follows: 625 for the full supply level, 550 for the intake level, and then 544 for the tailwater level. So in the discussion, we found out that the runoff river will have little to no water storage, and which will make it difficult to be a reliable source in terms of power output. And this may be met during the dry. We might run the risk of not having power during the dry season, and so we prefer Maguga dam prevail in terms of having a huge capacity to store water. It will help to avail electricity even though it's a dry season and any other water demand within the catchment. And also the dam also can be used for multi-purpose system, provide additional benefits such as irrigation, flood control, water supply, environmental flow, and recreation activities. And the dam, as I say earlier, it has a huge storage capacity. It stores enough energy and can respond to variable load requirements within the catchment or within the surrounding areas. And the dam has a large storage capable of storing inflow for months, meaning that even during dry seasons, water will still be available to generate electricity. In conclusion, there is no sufficient water within the Maguga Dam to cater for all the water demand. As it was shown before, 6% deviation would need to be covered in order for the supply to meet the water demand. So our recommendation is that though there is shortage of water within the catchment, we can apply the trade-off approach to make sure some demand can be met by some sort of policy adjustment. And then to address that, we came up with a plan to say, what about groundwater to be used to supply for the irrigation demand and any other demand like domestic as well? And also one of the options was the water transfer scheme, where we can transfer water from one catchment to the other. So basically, where you got excess water, you can transfer through pipeline or through trucks, as we see when you use water shedding within the country. So that can also be used. And also efficient water consumption through the water rights and regulations. And we believe by applying all the above alternatives, the water demand versus the water supply delta can be mitigated or addressed. So at the end of our presentation, thank you so much. If there's any question, feel free to ask. Thank you.